I can even justify my view of Bella Swan as being a you know she that Bella Swan is actually a Mary Sue because you know the thing is that if a real woman were to be with a guy, right, and she were to ditch her friends the way that Bella Swan does, they would get sick of her shit at some point. They would actually hold her to account. But no, in Twilight, she can't even have a night out with the girls because she has to spend all of her time with Edward and everything, and nobody ever hates her for it. That's just Bella, good for her and everything in the series. Nobody ever gets tired of her crap, or sick of the fact that she does this and is all like, yeah, fuck Bella, let her have him. Like that doesn't happen like it would in the real world and everything. If a girl were, trying to maintain friendships in a relationship at the same time and, massively favored one over the other, like there's just a lack of element of realism to her character. She, like, everybody kisses her ass, even though there's nothing particularly special about her. She's self righteous about herself. She's conceited and narcissistic and thinks that she's superior to everyone and is all haughty and everything, and everybody still kisses her ass, and everything over the series. Like, it doesn't matter how crucially flawed she is as a character, everybody's still, revolving themselves around her because this is a fucking wish fulfillment, that's happening in this series. It's Stephanie Meyer's wet dream, come to this book and everything, and this series and everything. Whereas, at least Chizuharu in Rent a Girlfriend is actually a character that isn't a massive Mary Sue and everything. She's an actual human being. That, well, not really an actual one, but she's been fleshed out like an actual human being in such a way that we can see, for instance, her the things that are special about her are not, that she's, just like, that her whole personality, or that she got picked by Kazu, or that's not the only thing that's special about Chizu's sweet, she's empathetic, she's a nice girl, and her kindness really radiates and everything as a character, and she's, they I don't know, she's just, she's got dreams and hopes of her own and everything, and so it basically comes across, that we can sort of, if this series hadn't happened, if Kazu and her hadn't become a pair, we can see her life, as it would progress naturally without, him as part of it. Whereas we can't do that with the Mary Sue in the Twilight series and everything. And like, I'm sorry, but all this to me makes pretty damn clear that, despite how flawed Rent a Girlfriend is, that it's the better love story. Like, I can defend this view at this point. I can justify it. I can say quite a bit about it because Bella Swan is a fucking massive Mary Sue. This is shit writing. It's wish fulfillment.